ladies, in here today I am back with part 2. I said, why don't I just get her right away? I'm bored. I'll be bored anyways, 10 seconds. So let's watch this. We're not even halfway, so I'm going to have to do more parts and it's going to suck. And anyways,
Mild fish, they're perfect for pan frying, baking, cooking whole, crudo, all sorts of things. This is a very versatile, very delicious fish. So we'll take our scaler. You can put a pretty good amount of pressure on this fish, but you don't want to go too hard and risk puncturing the skin. So you take your scissor, just make one cut, insert your knife, and just start to cut. Peel open, and that should take everything out in one shot.
Just warning you.
Crabs, actually, is what I'm eating. This is just one half of the crab. And now you clean your cutting boards. Cut behind the head, open up the collar. You'll enter your knife in through the back and make a shallow cut just along the back, just opening up so you can see the bones. Make another cut, make one here, and you should be good to go. Now you'll come over the spine on the other side for the rest of the fillet. What you'll do is you'll angle your knife pretty harshly and put quite a bit of pressure down onto the bones. And then when coming up over the ribs, you'll have some pin bones that you need to crack through. And you'll just start at the tail, use your momentum.
Yeah?
Just go right through them. And then sharp angle to get over those ribs, get all the belly meat, you'll finish your fillet. For the other side, you just flip her over, do the same thing. So you have a sea bass with 2 nice fillets, hopefully not too much meat on the bones. And save that for some soup, and you're just gonna trim. There you go. 2 black sea bass fillets ready for dinner. Arctic char. Char is a salmonoid, pretty much a cross between a trout and a salmon, mainly farmed, usually in Scandinavian countries. You can pretty much expect everything that salmon has to offer, just a little fattier, a little more buttery. Definitely a very forgiving fish to cook. So, the easiest way to fillet these fish is to pick it up from the fin, put a finger right below the eye, just for some leverage, and I would just cut right behind the head on a diagonal and just chop the head off. That goes away. You can make soup. What you'll do is you'll start at the top of the spine, just make a small cut, just opening it up, and then very gently follow that line. Then once your fillet is free from the back half, flip your knife over, enter in from the tail with just the tip, and just run it along. Flip back over, and finish your cut. And all you want to do is trim up this rib section, leaving as little waste as possible. And there you go, Arctic char fillet.
Is this salmon? I forgot.
Red snapper. These are usually caught in the Gulf of Mexico. Fish that likes to eat a lot of shellfish, a lot of crabs, a lot of sweet things. So this fish is pretty popular with like Caribbean foods and things like that, but it could be in a really good ceviche, really great tacos. Crudo is a great option. All of it is great. It's a good fish. First we have the scaler. So now with filleting snapper, they have some pretty aggressive rib bones actually, so that's something that you should look out for. And they're pretty steep, so you'll make your first cut behind the head, open up the collar, go along the back gently. And these guys have some pretty flaky flesh as well, so you'll want to take care to not be rough with the fillet. And when you come to the ribs, the first one curves in slightly, the second one follows, and then they become sort of normal. So you'll want to have that sharp angle, get that extra meat around that first rib, that second rib, and then just like normal. Just follow it down, finish out your cut. One thing that's going to make this even a little easier beyond having a really sharp knife is making sure that while you're cutting, you're keeping your knife clean. Any extra bits, scales, flesh that's on there, it's probably going to end up getting you stuck and ultimately damaging the fillet. It's red snapper.
What do you do then?
Ladies and gentlemen.
I swear to God. That's looking plus either. Not sponsored.
Catfish. This guy you usually see fried, blackened, some sort of pretty aggressive treatment. Trying to be nice to the fish. They come from some pretty gnarly waters sometimes, but ultimately it is a good thing that we're eating so much of them. They are an invasive species. They eat everything, and they're very, very resilient. Because of the waters they come from, you do not want to puncture the belly. You do not want the smell of catfish guts in your house. So for catfish, you'll make your first cut right in the back of the head. And then I like to put my knife in and feel where the base of the spine is and twist, and you'll make your first cut like that. and then really gently follow the back. And once you feel yourself get to the rib cage here on the top half, stop and start focusing on the rest of it. So you'll cut all the way down to the spine and free it up, going over to the other side, freeing all that up. And then when you come back and flip your knife over, stay tight to those ribs and sort of just raise the angle of your knife a little bit more until you're over them. And the meat becomes free at the top like that. Once this little section is free, you can flip your knife back over and you'll start to see the ribs. Once you see that, that's when you want to come in, sort of a sharp angle, avoid everything in there, and finish your fillet. Other side is the same, just a cut right here. And sometimes they have a pretty thick bone here along the top fin, and you'll have to angle up and sort of over that. Finish the rest of it,
That's a wise
avoiding
fish.
the belly and freeing it
He
up.
did it for his
This
own
is
time.
garbage.
Proud of
And now I like to switch to a slightly
The
bigger
wise
knife
fish,
to skin
no
the
longer.
catfish. So you're going to want to make
Those
a
are
very
very
slight
rare
incision
fish.
here at the tail.
The wise
And as you go
fish.
in, wiggle, wiggle,
With a
wiggle,
long
and start to make your
mustache.
knife as flat as you can so that you're up against the skin, leaving a little bit of meat here at the end just for something to grab onto. And there's two ways you can skin these. You can either wiggle your knife, wiggle your knife, wiggle your knife, and hope for the best, or one of the easier ways, you can grab onto that piece of meat that you left and pull the skin, leaving the knife stable. And as you go, you can twirl the skin around your finger, have some fun with it, and finish.
This sounded incredibly
Then you'll
wrong,
have
but keep on
skinless
going at it.
catfish fillets.
Here's the name.
Trout.
Oh, this
Steelhead
thing's
trout
fat.
is a farmed
You see that he
species
cut it
of
open
fish
already.
rated green for sustainability. Very similar to a rainbow
he
trout,
only did
maybe
that
a little
so you don't
closer
have
to
to put
salmon
it
in
into
flavor.
blood.
They're strong flavored, fatty, really good for poaching, baking. Anything you do with salmon, you do with steelhead trout. This one has very small scales and are extremely sticky. And these guys can be pretty slimy and sort of difficult to deal with if it's your first time, but just cut right through the head. Again, you can see the fish has main spine, bone on each side. You can
His
just
heart?
start there. You want to aim to be pretty much on
You are
top of the
heartless
fins.
monsters.
And with this, you want to make really
care about
gentle,
life.
slow movements.
But
This
again,
is
I
not
eat
the most
burgers,
forgiving
so I
fish to
don't feel the
fillet.
same way.
And again, here you'll just crack through all the bones here and get into
I
the
care
belly.
about life.
This, you want to put a lot of pressure
Buy it
down
at the
on that
grocery.
belly.
Oh God,
They're very
that looks like
flexible.
salmon.
They're not going to break. Other side is similar.
Is this salmon
Start
or
at
is
the
it
tail.
bass? I'm confused.
Finish your cut. You're going to trim up belly membrane. Let's steelhead trout.
Oh, it's a trout.
Tilefish.
Yeah,
Tilefish is a deep sea fish, actually. They are
Good question.
predators for sure. They like to eat sweet things like clams, crabs. It
Ew.
gives a slight sweetness to the flesh. It's
I never
very similar to
tasted
red
crab.
snapper,
I tasted
actually.
crab.
This guy's so nice, you
Crab really
actually
doesn't taste
don't
like
have to scale
anything.
these if you don't want to. If you plan on pan frying these fish, the scales actually puff up and add a nice crunchy element to the fish, so we're going to leave the scale on. Make a tight cut, and following up along all the way to the head, pretty much right above the eye, cut through the collar.
Let me see what the
Now,
eye
because
looks
there's
like
scales
when
on this
I stab
fish, it will be a little bit tougher to cut, so you'll just take it slow, make shallow cuts using momentum. And tilefish are a little unique in that most fish's pin bones just come to about the first quarter of the fish, whereas tilefish is pretty much the first half of the fish. So for cracking through the pin bones, you're going to need some momentum. You'll start at the tail and sort of just run your knife up until you hear them all crack. And with bellies on these guys, their rib cage actually folds in quite a bit, so you'll want to just really slowly go along the belly until you start to see the skin poke through on the other side. And then you're going to want to go pretty sharp, get this extra meat that's hanging on there, and that should free up your first rib. Then you'll follow it down until it's all free, and finish it. Same for the other side. Just finish off this side. Trim up that membrane, clean up your edges. There you have tilefish. Hiramasa. So hiramasa is mostly eaten raw. It's usually a crudo. It can be served in sushi applications. It's a really good, super firm, buttery fish. I would not recommend cooking it. I definitely think raw is the way to go for this fish. So this, we're just going to cut some fillets. Now the gill plate on this guy is actually pretty easily defined. If you pull back, you'll see the gill plate rise up from the flesh. And that's exactly where you want your knife to go. And just go right straight down and just open up. And once I'm in, I'll just spin my knife and just get it right on top of the bones. Crack through the ribs here. And because this fish is so buttery, it also makes it pretty delicate when you're cutting it. Same for the other side. Just trim that away. And you'll reveal a really nice fatty belly that'll definitely rival most cuts of meat that you eat. That is a hiramasa.
Okay, everybody, thank you for watching. Hope you liked and subscribed, and I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time.